Harvey! That's carryover from the last video. Hey guys, it's Alert here, back again with another review, and today we're having a look at the DC Superheroes Select Sculpt Doomsday. I don't have a Superman, but I have 5 Doomsdays. I like Doomsday a lot, so I feel obligated to get all the versions. Some people think I'm nuts, but I'm like, there's not that many, so there are more Ghost Riders than there are Doomsdays, believe it or not. I think the only ones I'm missing are the old Kenner one, the 3 3/4 inch. Oh, there are 2 3 3/4 inch scale ones outside of the Justice League figure, and then there's the new one from DC Collectibles. So got the Doomsday collection going on. So Doomsday, if you didn't know, killed Superman because Superman sucks. No, he killed Superman, and Superman in turn, I think, killed him. But you know, when Doomsday comes back, you can't kill him the same way twice. I don't know if that's the case with Superman. I hope not, because I just like seeing Doomsday beat the shit out of him, because I do not like Superman, but I like his villains a lot. Doomsday, Metallo, Brainiac, Darkseid, Steppenwolf, Parademons, Parasite, Bizarro, Lex Luthor. I like all those guys. I do not care for Superman, though. Never have. But Doomsday here, I got him off of that G.I. Joe collector on Instagram, and he's really, really cool. So special shout out to him. But I was talking about the figure that. Either way, his head is very rubbery, which is something I was not expecting. So I guess if you took a heat thing to it, you could open his mouth and have him roaring, which we never get a Doomsday figure that's like straight up like that. Although really he wants more expression than just his mouth being open. But yeah, his little spike dads are a little soft. I just hope his head lasts. So I bet you can just pop that thing off. I mean, you can even see underneath it there, so that's kind of goofy, but nonetheless. This Doomsday is going to be a desk piece, because I really do like this figure. Outside of the fact that, you know, all these spikes are super rubbery, I like the bigger one, actually, better when it comes to the spikes, because the spikes are nice and stiff. They're rubbery, but they're not like that. Which is kind of my issue with this, because this type of rubber I don't think lasts that long. So somebody's going to have to get some casting going on. Cast these spikes and then sell them. Because these just come off. They're pigged in. They're glued on. They're separate pieces. So if you heat the stuff, you'd probably just pop it off. I'm guessing this one ends down here. So yeah, feels like it. But nonetheless. His head, Doomsday's head, it's on a big old ball joint. Get some attitude out of it. Can look up at Superman. Can look down at Superman because he kicked his ass. And can rotate side to side. He's got a ponytail too. It's nice and soft, so it moves. He's got an ab crunch. What is that for forward? Not far back. He's got a swivel at the shoulder. Now, the shoulder spikes are stiffer than a doornail, which is nuts. But they do move in. I'd say that's about as much as you're going to get them out, is where they're at. Which isn't a lot, but, you know, he's a bulky dude. He's not going to be doing no jujitsu. He's got a swivel at the bicep, single hinge at the elbow, swivel at the wrist, swivel at the waist. And I like this because his belt, there's actually remains of his pants up here, which is a nice touch. His hips move forward, back, move out to the side a little bit. Not a 100% complete split, but good enough. Thigh cut underneath the pants, which is nice. Single hinge at the foot, swivel at the boot, underneath the spike, so it's nice and hidden. And he's got a hinge in the foot with a tiny little rocker joint. No peg holes, though. Surprises me. This side's a little bit more cocked than the other, but I think that's just the sculpt of the figure itself. So, not a bad Doomsday at all. In fact, this may potentially be the best one for DC Classics, just because it's nice to have a massive Doomsday, but it's a little difficult to mess with him. And this one overall has the better sculpt, I think. In fact, I'm surprised they didn't just make this bigger and just sold it that way, because I think that would have been a little smarter than just redoing the whole thing. I mean, the other one, his mouth is open, which is a plus, so he had a different expression at least. But I guess you could say that's Doomsday like 10 years later. It's just massive. Here he is next to Batman because he's still here. And he's taller, which is nice. He's not that much taller, but I'd say he's about... the top of his head seems to go to Doomsday's nose, so he's about half a head taller, which, doesn't bug me. Depends on what you're going for. You could have a giant Doomsday, you could have one that's about the same height, like this one. I'd say this dude's like 7 feet tall. So that being said, I'm going to give this figure a 10 out of 10, because it's a desk piece. It's going to be a desk piece. I'm going to give him a 9, just because I don't like the rubbery spikes. Longevity on those might be a little iffy. But regardless, it's still an awesome figure. I highly recommend you get this one if you can't afford the bigger one, because I know the bigger one's not cheap in the slightest. So, that being said, hope you enjoyed this review, and until next time, I will catch you guys later.